Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Strength Her, an initiative of CXO Digital Parks, where we bring to you stories of innovation and resilience of women who broke barriers, embraced their unique strengths, and embarked on a journey where they forged their own paths. Today, on this episode, we have a very special guest, Ms. Namrata Jain, who is the founder at Out Aloud Wellness. Thank you very much, Namrata, for being here with us today on this episode of Strength.
It's a pleasure, Ria. Thank you so much for inviting me. Hello everyone. This is Namrata Jain. I'm a psychologist and a wellness expert with more than a decade-long experience in the space of mental well-being and psychology. I'm the founder of Out Aloud Wellness. As a company, we are into mental well-being across organizations and individuals, along with children and adults. Our major area of work is with relationships. So, in case you're looking out for anything, feel free to connect with us.
That is great, Namrata. I must say that you wear a lot of hats.
Thank you.
Namrata, to know you better, I will pose some rapid fire questions at you, and you have to answer in two shakes of a lamb's tail. Are you excited to get going on this rapid fire round?
Sure.
Namrata, my first question would be: are you an early bird or a night owl?
Um, quite a difficult thing to answer because at times I'm an early bird and I want to try and rise early every day. However, Mumbai, I think, is awake till too late, and the hustle doesn't allow you to sleep very early. At least that's what applies for me. So I usually sleep by around 12, wake up by 7. That's the best I've been able to do, though I would love to do 10 to 5, but yeah.
Okay, that's great. Do you prefer social time or alone time?
So I think I prefer both. I'm an ambivert, so I love my me time and do not like to compromise on it at all. However, social and I realize that there is a dire need for me to be in the social environment as well. So I have, tried and built the social side of me. So anyone who looks at me from the outside will feel I'm a social butterfly, but I'm really not. Me time is very, very important for me.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Namrata, what is your favorite pun?
Um, my favorite pun. That's a good question. चलते रहो, I mean, हँसते रहो, खेलते रहो, मज़ा करते रहो. That's usually what, I mean, I would always be like, even if it's a tough time, you'll get through it. Yeah.
Okay. Namrata, what is your deepest fear?
Being alone, I think, because I spend a lot of time with myself, and sometimes I feel like I may just not feel like connecting to a lot of people. That is one of my fears. Yeah.
Okay. What is the best piece of advice that you have ever received?
Expect the unexpected. From a college friend of mine about 15 years back, I guess now, but it still stays in my mind.
Okay. Namrata, it was a great rapid fire round with you and knowing a brief about your preferences. But yes, now it's time to talk about your journey. Namrata, we know that you come from a very conservative family. However, you became financially independent at a very early age. Can you give us a brief sneak about your journey and your first job?
So I started when I was 15 years old, living in a joint family. Finances were something that used to always get divided, right? So we all felt like we weren't getting what we really wanted at that time. And that actually pushed me to start doing something through which I could get a little bit of pocket money to be able to enjoy with my friends. That's literally where the purpose was. And I started when I was 15 years old. I was extremely good at handwriting. I self learned calligraphy along with a little assistance from my dad's sister, that's my Bua. And that's from where I started, teaching calligraphy to children when I was 15. And alongside, I also got offered a freelance job with Taj Lands End, where I used to write their visiting cards for people who were coming as VIP invites. And I mean, it was amazing, as a young child to be going to Taj Lands. And I mean, everyone's just dreams of working in five-star hotels and stuff when you are younger, like you'll do meetings there and stuff like that. But as a 15-year-old, I used to walk in every day, in that hotel to be able to go and write down their cards. And I think that's given me the best confidence that I could have got at that age to be able to be an entrepreneur, because even that in a way was my start of the journey to entrepreneurship. After that, I worked. After I finished, of course, this was along with my master, along with my education. Then I kept teaching calligraphy throughout for almost 10 years. So until I was 25, I was teaching calligraphy. And as soon as I finished my master's, I joined into working with a school as a psychologist. I realized children weren't my best audience to work with at that time. And so I ventured out into starting my own company thereafter. It's been about, so I started building it up, but finally registered it as a company in 2015. And now it's been 8 years of entrepreneurship with Out Aloud Wellness being the main baby that I'm nurturing right now. So that's been the journey throughout with entrepreneurship.
That's lovely, Namrata, because I think your first job not only owned your skills, but also ignited a spark within you to strive for more.
Yeah, yeah. And I must say that, in this whole journey, because coming from a Marwadi family, not always women are given that push to work, and so was it a little bit in my environment, where I was always told that you need to finish your education and then you'll get married. So you need to learn how to take care of the home, you have to take care of family. And that was what was always fed in us, as younger kids. And I always felt like, no, I want to do something different. And I had my mom's support very, very strongly. My mom always wanted us to be independent and to be able to do something that we are really good at. And I think I thank her a lot for giving me that push. She had really high expectations from me, especially being the second child. Probably there is a little more expectation that she had built towards me. She could see I had a lot of talent and confidence to be able to build it, and she nurtured it throughout for me. Even today, despite of a lot of things that have happened across the years, I think my mom, regardless, silently is my biggest supporter behind that.
I'm sure your mom has been your blessing beyond words. So, Namrata, since you have come a long way in your journey, have you ever encountered any societal pressure and how did you navigate it?
Uh, of course, again, Marwadi families, I think we all know that there is a little bit of pressure when it comes to marriage. I think about 10 years back from now, there was a lot of pressure. Again, I was of the right age, according to family, to get married. My sister got married at a very early age, and that kind of put a little bit of a push for my parents to start thinking about me also very early in life. Um, that pressure built in a lot, firstly for my parents, and seeing them, it just built a lot in me, and through that whole journey of the pressure to be able to, and you're very young at that age to be able to decide a partner for yourself. You're confused what to do, what's right, what's wrong. It's very difficult to decide in today's time so fast. In 1 or 2 meetings, it doesn't happen that way. And I was quite confused what's really happening in my life, and with that pressure and trying to final things up and do things, and as per parents in all good faith were trying to put forward the best things for me, but I was just not being able to take it, and it eventually made me slip into depression. I went through depression for about 2.5 years, where I was completely in a space where I was so lost, while my academic, I mean, my professional achievements were still going on parallelly, which never got affected so much. But I had reduced my work with one-on-one clients largely. It was almost like 2% of work with one-on-one people, but I was working largely with crowds. Uh, it took a toll on me in a way where I had to refine myself all over again. I was gone to ground zero, I could say, in that whole period. And that resilience to be able to bounce back, I think while in the beginning, my parents also put a lot of pressure on me. They, with time, understood what I was really going through. And it is through pre-pandemic and pandemic that I would say my family was my biggest strength for me to bounce back again. And my sister especially, and they say that women are women's biggest enemy sometimes, but I would say every woman in my life has been my biggest strength. They are the people who have pushed me to be better. They are the people who I see and learn so much even in today's times. So I think that way, that difficult time has taught me so much that today I think if I am a better therapist, if I'm able to work with a lot more confidence, it's because of that period. So not every downfall is something that's only going to drain you out. Some downfalls actually pull you up really, really well. And this was one of them for me. One more thing to add in this, that the tougher times actually brought in so much that I wrote my book based on my experience through that, in the sense of the learnings of what's very important for well being. And I think that has been my biggest take back from that the small things that happen in your life, or the small things that you're doing every day, and the connection that you have with those things is something that we don't value. And it is so important to value that on a regular basis, so that you don't have to go through these larger tougher times.
That is amazing, Namrata. I will wait for the book.
Very soon.
Yes. So, Namrata, reflecting on your journey, it appears that you have always wholeheartedly welcomed the opportunities. You have not only opened the doors, but you have also embarked on that journey. So, what would be your piece of advice for the young women to prioritize self care?
So, to the first part of it, I think I had never planned that I would be a part of the corporate world as a psychologist. Um, in fact, as a young child, I knew that I will work in the space of psychology. I'd come across a textbook, and that's where I decided that I wanted to learn this science. However, I had never dreamt of being a psychologist for the corporate world. And it's randomly one day that get a call from the United Health Group mental health company, and they're like, will you do awareness programs for us? And that's where I said, I had a thought on it that I don't know, I've never done this, I don't know anything about the corporate world, how do I really go ahead and do this? But I have always been this person who, when a door gets knocked, I will open, look, and I'll start walking. If I know that it's taking me on the path of which I know my purpose is so far, I never say no. And I literally never say no. Unless I know it's not aligning with my purpose, I will say no. But if it is aligning with my purpose, even if it is something that is away from what I'm doing, but yet leads me to my purpose, I am someone who will just start walking. And I would say that sometimes whatever we decide is not what's going to really happen. Sometimes universe has its own way of aligning things for you at a certain point in life, when you feel that that's not right for you, but universe knows you're already prepared for that. It's already done its work for you to start working on that. And if it is coming your way and it's flowing easily for you, don't hesitate. Remember, as women, you have been given the, I would say, an innate quality to be able to bounce back. A woman every month going through her periods, a lot of women I know of go through a very tough time, but they bounce back so fast to stand up, right? We've been given that strength to be able to do that. So make sure that you use that strength to be able to bounce back far more faster, to be able to enter those doors and take that as an opportunity. Challenge yourself a little bit if required, go learn something new, and start walking through it. So that's one thing that I always tell even the young women who work with me, and even otherwise I mentor a lot of people. I tell them that not everything is going to happen as per your designed world that you're creating. It's all going to flow in maybe different directions, and that's why I say expect the unexpected, because I have always seen unexpected things happen in my life, but they've always so aligned so beautiful. They're almost like pearls of a necklace binding together one by one. And uh, sometimes you don't know as to what bead is leading to what, but it only and only looks beautiful when you see it backwards, sitting in this time right now. And just keep going. That's very, very important.
That's amazing, Namrata. And I would say loving starts with the self,
Yeah,
because it's all of us are just perfect in our own imperfections, and we all are wonderfully made to achieve things in life.
absolutely.
And
And for the
yeah,
self-care, sorry, Ria, for the self-care bit, remember to take a pause. You don't have to be someone who's hustling constantly. You must remember to take a pause. When I was going through depression, I did take that pause very largely. I knew that, okay, this is, even though, you have all the tools, you have all the knowledge, but when clinical depression really comes into your life, you have to sail through that phase. You cannot have any shortcut to it. It has its own way of going through, and you have to make sure that you are sailing through every step of it. Otherwise, it will keep coming back to you again and again. And so I took that pause where I knew that now I need to take a step back to it. Trust me, I had a year of crying every day before I go to bed. Uh, Regardless, I said I need to be a little compassionate with myself. I went down from my professional journey where I was working at 7 and 8 from a 1 on 10 to I went down to a 1 and 2. I said, it's okay. This is the time where I need to build on myself. I need to take a break. I would travel most of the weekends and get out. I would spend time with people who would give me that strength. Of course, there are some people who will pull you down in that time also, because their expectations are different from you and they want different things from you. But you got to be your best friend. You got to be your best supporter. You got to be compassionate towards your own self first and protect yourself. I think that's the most important, is to protect yourself first in the periods when you're going through a downfall, or you're even on a daily basis, right? Even now, sometimes when it's too overwhelming, I will really take a pause, the next day, to take 2 hours to just do nothing in the morning, go and spend some time with nature. Nature for me is my best healer. So I try and spend that time with nature to be able to recuperate again and then come back to work. So self-care is very, very, very primary to me. After, that little phase that I went through, I realized the importance of self-care so much more. And to all the women out there, make sure you invest that time in yourself. If you really want to be able to contribute to the world, first make sure that you invest in yourself to be able to give out there. Also, another thing, remember, as women, we are not in any kind of competitiveness with men. We are not here to have a one up. They have their own qualities. We have our own qualities that we've been gifted with, right? We are beautiful nurturers. We are beautiful creators. We are resilient. We can multitask, and that's our strength. So instead of trying to always have that, competitiveness or wanting to have that one up on men, why not actually be collaborative and do this? And this is something that I always say, that, we are each other's strength, and that's what we need to do. And so is this message to all the men who are listening, that remember, women are not here to take your position. Women are here to contribute with you. And that's a change that we really, really need. So for women, make sure that when you are looking at self-care, you're also making sure that you imbibe this mindset that I'm not here to fight, I'm not here to win. I'm here to be able to contribute together and be able to, have a bigger purpose happening together.
that is absolutely great what you really mentioned just now. And it also reminds me of a quote by John Confield, an American writer, where he mentions that if your compassion does not include your own self, it is incomplete.
Absolutely. Very well said.
Thank you so much, Namrata, for being here with us on this episode of Strength, where you shared your side of the journey of resilience and innovation and how you navigated through it. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Ria. It's a pleasure. And to everyone out there who's listening, remember to love yourself a little and love others even more, because you're a giver. Take care.
Thank you, Namrata.